Will I get in the water with them? Let's see. It was a beautiful day when we arrived in Bimini. I woke up in time to see the ship's staff getting us tethered to the dock with the assistance of the Bimini officials, and it was cool to watch this whole process as we came into port that day. Bimini was the first time stepping off the ship for this sailing due to weather, so I was finally able to get a view of the Valiant Lady and her Black Mermaid logo in all of its glory. The crystal blue waters of Bimini were just simply breathtaking. My first stop was to the bar for a rum punch, and I couldn't help but notice these cheeky logos on coconuts. It looks like one of the more active days at Bimini Beach Club. Everybody's out here, has their spots. It's been a pretty active ship. The last time I came to Bimini, it wasn't as exciting and everybody was kind of calm. This group has been pretty live, so we'll see if they keep the party going and actually turn up. There are drink stands. This is the quieter side of the pool to your left. And then on your right is where all the floaties and the DJ booth will be. Since I booked an excursion, I decided to sit at the beach and meet with some friends and then head to grab lunch. This is my first time back at Bimini Beach Club in a few months, and it looks like they updated the menu to include jerk chicken. After finishing my lunch, it was time to make my way towards the excursion. Okay, here's a word to the wise. When you rent those golf carts, guys, make sure that you get a point of contact information. Just saw some people who are broken down on the side of the road in Bimini, and the tram service can't stop to help you. So make sure if you encounter some issues, you know exactly who to reach out to. Alrighty, I'm gonna use the restroom and I gotta go to my excursion. I always wondered what this fisherman area was like here in Bimini. It's pretty empty. A few stores, but they're all closed. So nothing really open in this fisherman village area. One little pizzeria there. All the things in the fisherman village. Morning, hello.
that's fine.
So this is where you go if you have the short things. Here. And this is Kayak Beach. Literally has all the kayaks on it. Hello, how are you? And you're gonna check in at this little booth here. Not sure why she's running. It's nowhere near 1:30. So for this excursion, you must check in at the booth that I previously shown. Otherwise, they will not let you on the excursion boat. I saw a couple who walked up pretty late as we were about to pull away, and the excursion staff will leave that check-in booth. So therefore, those people weren't able to do the disclaimer, and they did not let them board the excursion. Okay, here's a little backstory about this. So a few years ago in Belize, I had opportunity to snorkel with sharks, and I didn't get off the boat. I wasn't the only one, but I think only one person got off the boat to snorkel with sharks. So my goal is today, I have to at least be able to get in the water with the sharks, even if it's 10 seconds, get in, get out, just to say I conquered something that I couldn't conquer early on. So we shall see how this goes. But I will tell y'all, I'm about to board the boat, and I am a wee bit nervous. All right, let's go. This excursion begins with a scenic boat ride to the Sapona shipwreck. Here you'll encounter seaplanes and the variety of crystal clear waters of the Bahamas. In true Bahamian fashion, we had to stop at one of the boat ramps to pick up some cups for our rum punch. Y'all, look at how blue this water is. My goodness. Throughout the excursion, staff on board will assist you with taking photos, and they even help me with some good snorkeling footage. Be sure to leave a tip for their services. I personally gave $20, and you'll see later in this video exactly why. Here we are approaching our first stop, which is the SS Sapona, which had a long history of either trafficking, then military usage where they would practice bombing it, to even housing booths. Our excursion group got lucky as the previous sailing in the morning couldn't spot much because the water was too choppy. However, by the time we arrived around 1:30, the water was still choppy but had cleared enough to see. The water was so choppy that we had to maneuver around a bit at both stops here at Sapona and when we arrived to the sharks to get a good anchor. Once we got a good catch with the anchor, it was time to settle down for a safety briefing, which something you should know are that the Sapona has some jagged edges. Oftentimes people will leave this wreck with cuts that they don't realize due to the corals that are growing on the beams, as well as the ruggedness of the beams themselves. There's a ladder that you can climb up and jump off. However, due to the nature of our excursion, they did not recommend we do that.
So the concrete took so long to set and cure that time they got it out of the building, that only job it really did was just take troops back and forth from the war to the home. After they finished with that, they sold to an American business guy. He decided to turn into a floating night casino. That was going on for a few years. After they did that, he sold it to a business guy over here by the name of Bruce Bethel. He decided to do the same thing with a little bit more illegal activities. Yeah, so this is during the prohibition days, so almost legal for you guys, illegal for us. So we just call it, he's helping the brother out. He was doing all of that. Then there's one bad season. If you guys look this way, those cool bushes over there is our sister island by the name of Kaki. In the back there is very shallow, but there's a very deep canal. That's where most of our major shipment boats are used to get back and forth to different islands. But like I said again, it's very shallow in certain places. And it's also good protection from the wind, waves, and if a hurricane is coming. This certain year, it was the hurricane season. He decided to park the boat in the back there, hoping that the island protect him from the hurricane. It did.
After the safety briefing, it was time for me to woman up and get in the water. And y'all, I will say both stops, I was pretty nervous. The safety briefing about possibly getting cut or injured as you got near the Sapona made me a little worried, as well as the choppiness of the water had me worried that I might accidentally bump into an object or a person. However, the guide really was attentive to me after I told him I was scared. And sometimes it just helps you just say, hey, I'm scared, and they will look out for you. Here is the guide, and I took him up on his offer to follow him, and you'll see he's gonna pull me into the wreck. At this point, I was really freaking out because, again, on the other side of the shipwreck, it was very choppy. And at one point, another snorkeler swims into me. I got a little nervous. I think I screamed. So yep, after colliding with her, I made my way out. I was thoroughly nervous. I was only able to see one fish. However, I heard that there were other fish that people spotted. Fortunately, to find some fish, you had to get closer to some of those rocky edges, and I was not willing to do that to catch marine life. I was so nervous that I actually swam past the guy who was there to help me. He even came back and he said, "Where did you go?" I said, "I left." I prefer a full face snorkel as I cannot control the whole breathing situation. I got this snorkel from Amazon, and basically I started hightailing it back to the ship. You won't see a ton of marine life. I personally was kind of like excursions where they don't show a ton of marine life, because a lot of times what they have to do is they have to pull out bread, etc., and that's feeding and bait that they're feeding people animals while you are out in the ocean. So I prefer the natural, see whatever fish come around versus the feeding frenzy that some snorkeling excursions try to create. Now that I was safely back on board, I cheered on my fellow snorkelers with their endeavors. I usually don't stay out in the water too long, but it was cool to get this view of everyone else snorkeling. Now here comes the scary part. We made our second stop at the reef where the sharks could be found, and as soon as we pulled up, they immediately recognized the boat and began to circle the boat. And this is where I started freaking out. And this location was even more choppier than the first location. Now I thought we were gonna get in the water with some cute little nurse sharks, but nope, baby, these were reef sharks. I was thoroughly scared. We got our safety briefing where this crew said the company never lost any passengers, and actually they have snorkelers as young as 6 who get off at this stop. The key things they impressed on us or enforced upon us were to keep your fins on at all times, and don't keep your fingers as close to yourself as possible. Just don't want any sharks to think that they might be little fishies or anything like that. We're happy to report that everyone on this excursion returned with their toes and as well as fingers. We did have a couple little nicks. I think people getting back on the boat, as well as people who were nicked from the Sapona excursion. After buying as much time as possible, I finally got courage to get in, and you're going to hear me screaming. We were assured that essentially if you stay together, the sharks will not get no more than 5 feet. I did notice that the people who tended to swim alone, sharks had closer encounters. I decided to stay very close to the slack line. However, I did get a little nervous. There was a guy near me who was not a strong swimmer, and I kept trying to keep my distance from him. However, the current kept pushing me into him. So I wrapped this up kind of quickly because I was just nervous that he was going to panic again, and I didn't want to be around him should he grab me. And this is the dude I'm talking about. As you can see, it gets a little crowded out there on the slack line, which does not help you feel comfortable when there are sharks around. You think literally the other swimmers are the shark on you. So I would say try to get away from the slack line, but if you are nervous, this is probably the best place to be because we just look like big old animals of some sort to them. You can probably start hearing me now. I'm calming down a little bit. My breath is slowing down. Trying to take some deep breaths and calm myself. Then I just gave up and grabbed onto the life ring. I get tired of the crowded slack line, and the guide, I pass my GoPro off to him and he gets some really cool footage. So that's why I tipped him heavily, because he saved this video. You literally hear me tell the guide, you can have it, and he's off to do his thing. Yes, that is how many sharks were in the water while we were in the water. I'll be doing a full-length uncut video of this snorkeling excursion with my channel members, so join the channel membership today if you want to see the full uncut version of swimming with sharks. I was there to thank the guy for his service of catching such great footage, and as you can see I'm wearing a full pea swimsuit because I was scared when nothing going to swim into my suit.
Came out already.
Yeah. Once we were all safely back on board, the guides decided to show us exactly what we were working with. And it was time to feed the fish, or sharks. Out of the way. Whoa. Oh my God. A little fish like, oh. Yes, ladies and gents, this is a sampling of the sharks that were in the water with us and shows you exactly how hungry they were. Jesus Christ. Oh.
They're like on top of each other.
Jesus, Merry Christmas. Oh, that is, they were all there the whole time. Oh, it stinks. Oh, he got that all himself with the fin smack. Pop.
He stole it.
All right, I did it. I snorkeled Sapona, also sharks, and it was amazing. The crew did a wonderful job of keeping us safe, making sure we felt safe, making sure everybody was within their limits. But of course, got here back in one piece. I got my toes, still got all my fingers. So yeah, it was just great to conquer a fear that I had previously in Belize, didn't do it, and then to do it and knock it off my list was great. I had an early dinner at Razzle Dazzle and got the fried chicken as well as the buffalo cauliflower. Of all the things to do on Virgin, this has to be like my absolute favorite. This little iPad, put on a movie, and then the lights are in like called cinema mode. I can skip all the parties and just play around with this little iPad all day. So yeah, having movies on the last night. It actually, Eat, Pray, Love was the book that got me into solo travel. So why not watch the associated movie that started it all? So through this channel, my goal is to inspire you like this book and movie inspired me. Go out, see the world, do something different, do something that scares you. Whatever you do it, and don't let anything hold you back. Alright, this is See. Thanks for traveling with me. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.